Hello, everyone. Welcome back to A Year in the Bible with Divine Discoveries. Today we're going to be reading day 68 and 69. It's going to be numbers 33 through 36. Let's begin. Here are the stages in the journey of the Israelites when they came out of Egypt by divisions under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. At the Lord's command, Moses recorded the stages of their journey. This is their journey by stages. The Israelites set out from Ramses on the 15th day of the first month, the day after the Passover. They marched out defiantly in full view of the Egyptians, who were burying all of their firstborn, whom the Lord had struck down among them, for the Lord had brought judgment on their gods. The Israelites left Ramesses in the camped at Succoth. They left Succoth and camped at Etham, on the edge of the desert. They left Etham, turned back to Pi-Hahiroth, to the east of Baal-Zephon, and camped near Migdol. They left Pi-Hahiroth and passed through the sea into the desert. When they traveled for 3 days in the desert of Etham, they camped at Marah. They left Marah and they went to Elim, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and they camped there. They left Elim and camped by the Red Sea. They left the Red Sea and camped in the desert of Sin. They left the desert of Sin and camped at Dophkah. They left Dophkah and camped at Alush. They left Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for people to drink. They left Rephidim and camped in the desert of Sinai. They left the desert of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattaavah. They left Kibroth Hattaavah and camped at Hazareth. They left Hazareth and camped at Rithmah. They left Rithmah and camped at Rimmon Perez. They left Rimmon Perez and camped at Libnah. They left Libnah and camped at Rissa. They left Rissa and camped at Kelhutha. They left Kelhutha and camped at Mount Shepher. They left Mount Shepher and camped at Harda. They left at Harada and camped at Makaloth. They left Makaloth and camped at Tahath. They left Tahath and camped at Terah. They left Terah and camped at Mikatah. They left Mithkah and camped at Hashmona. They left Hashmona and camped at Mazaroth. They left Mazaroth and camped at Ben-Jaka. They left Ben-Jaka and camped at Hor Haggidgad. They left Hor Haggidgad and camped at Jotbah. They left Jotbah and camped at Abranah. They left Abranah and camped at Ezion-Geber. They left Ezion-Geber and camped at Kadesh in the desert of Zin. They left Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor on the border of Edom. At the Lord's command, Aaron and the priest went up Mount Hor, where he died on the first day of the first month of the 40th year after the Israelites came out of Egypt. Aaron was 123 years old when he died on Mount Hor. The Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev of Canaan, heard that the Israelites were coming. They left Mount Hor and camped at Zalmonah. They left Zalmonah and camped at Punon. They left Punon and camped at Oboth. They left Oboth and camped at Iabram on the border of Moab. They left Iabram and camped at Dibon Gad. They left Dibon Gad and camped at Almon Diblathaim. They left Almon Diblathaim and camped at the mountains near Abram, near Nebo. They left the mountains of Ephraim and camped on the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. There on the plains of Moab they camped along the Jordan from Beth Jeshimoth to Abel Shittim. On the plains of the Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you cross the Jordan into Canaan, drive out all the inhabitants of the land before you, destroy all their carved images and their cast idols, and demolish all of their high places. Take possession of the land and settle in, for I have given you the land to possess. Distribute the land by law according to your clans. To a larger group, give a larger inheritance, and to a smaller group, a smaller one. Whatever falls to them by lot will be theirs, distributed according to your ancestral tribes. But if you do not drive out the inhabitants of the land, those you allow to remain will become barbs in your eyes and thorns in your sides. They will give you trouble in the land where you live, and then I will do to you what I plan to do to them." The Lord said to Moses, "Command the Israelites and say to them, when you enter Canaan, the land will be allotted to you as inheritance. The land allotted to you, The land that will be allotted to you as an inheritance is to have these boundaries. Your southern side will include some of the desert of Zin along the border of Edom. Your southern boundary will start in the east from the southern end of the Dead Sea, cross south of the Scorpion Pass, continue on to Zin, and go south of Kadesh Barnea. Then it will go to Hazar Adar and over to the Asman, where it will turn, join the Wadi of Egypt, and end at the Mediterranean Sea. Your western boundary will be the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. This will be your boundary on the west. For your northern boundary, run a line from the Mediterranean Sea to Mount Hor, and from the Mount Hor to Lebo Hamath. Then the boundary will go to Zedad, continue to Ziphron, and at the end of Hazar Enan. This will be your boundary on the north. For your eastern boundary, run a line from Hazar Enan to Shaphan. The boundary will go down from Shaphan to Rabbah and on the east side of Ain, and continue along the slopes east of the Sea of Galilee. Then the boundary will go down along the Jordan and end at the Dead Sea. This will be your land, with its boundaries on every side. Moses commanded the Israelites, "Assign this land by law as an inheritance. The Lord has ordered that it be given to the 9.5 tribes. Because of the families of the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. These 2.5 tribes have received their inheritance east of the Jordan across from Jericho toward the sunrise." The Lord said to Moses, "These are the names of the men who are assigned the land for you as an inheritance: Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun. And appoint one leader from each tribe to help assign the land. These are their names: Caleb son of Jephunneh from the tribe of Judah, Shemuel son of Ammihud from the tribe of Simon, Eladad son of Kislon from the tribe of Benjamin, Bukai son of Jogli, the leader of the tribe of Dan, Haniel son of Ephah, the leader of the tribe of Manasseh son of Joseph, Kemuel son of Siptan, the leader of the tribe of Ephraim son of Joseph, Elizaphan son of Parnik, the leader of the tribe of Zebulun, Paltiel son of Azan, the leader of the tribe of Issachar, Ahihud son of Shalomi, the leader of the tribe of Asher, Padahel son of Ammihud, the leader of the tribe of Naphtali. These are the men the Lord commanded to assign the inheritance of the Israelites in the land of Canaan. On the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Command the Israelites and give the Levites towns to live in from the inheritance the Israelites will possess, and give them pasture lands around the towns. Then they will have towns to live in and pasture lands for the cattle they own and all of their other animals. The pasture lands around the towns that you give the Levites will extend to 1,000 cubits from the town wall. Outside the town, measure 2,000 cubits on the east side, 2,000 on the south side, and 2,000 on the west, and 2,000 on the north, with the town in the center. They will have this area as pasture land for the towns. 6 of the towns you give the Levites will be cities of refuge, to which a person who has killed someone may flee. In addition, give them 42 other towns. In all, you must give the Levites 48 towns, together with their pasture lands. The towns you give the Levites from the land of the Israelites possess are to be given in proportion to the inheritance of each tribe. Take many towns from a tribe that has many, but few from one that has few." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you cross the Jordan into Canaan, select some towns to be your city of refuge, to which a person who has killed someone accidentally may flee. They will be places of refuge from the avenger, so that anyone accused of murder may not die before they stand trial before the assembly. These 6 towns you give will be your cities of refuge. Give 3 on this side of the Jordan and 3 in Canaan as cities of refuge. These 6 towns will be a place of refuge for Israelites and the foreigners residing among them, so that anyone who has killed another accidentally can flee there. If anyone strikes someone with a fatal blow with an iron object, that person is a murderer. The murderer is to be put to death. Or if anyone is holding a stone and strikes someone with a fatal blow with it, that person is a murderer. The murderer is to be put to death. Or if anyone is holding a wooden object and strikes someone a fatal blow with it, that person is a murderer. The murderer is to be put to death. The avenger of blood shall be put on a murderer to death. When the avenger comes upon the murderer, the avenger shall put the murderer to death. If anyone with malice aforethought shoves another or throws something at them intentionally so that they die, or if out of enemy to one person hits another with their fist so that the other dies, that person is to be put to death. That person is a murderer. The avenger of blood shall put the murderer to death when they meet. But if without enemy someone suddenly pushes another or throws something at them unintentionally, or without seeing them, drops on them a stone heavy enough to kill them, and they die, then since the other person was not an enemy or no harm was intended, the assembly must judge between the accused and the avenger of blood according to these regulations. The assembly must protect the accused of murder from the avenger of blood and send the accused back to the city of refuge from which they fled. The accused must stay there until the death of the high priest, who was anointed with the holy oil. But if the accused ever goes outside the limits of the city of refuge to which they fled, and the avenger of blood finds them outside of the city, the avenger of blood may kill the accused without being guilty of murder. The accused must stay in the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. Only after the death of the high priest may they return to their own property. This is to have the force of law for you throughout the generations to come, wherever you live. Anyone who kills a person is to be put to death as a murderer only on the testimony of witness, but no one is to be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. Do not accept a ransom for the life of a murderer who deserves to die. They are to be put to death. Do not accept a ransom for anyone who has fled to a city of refuge, and so allow them to go back and live on their own land before the death of the high priest. Do not pollute the land where you are. Blood should pollute the land, and atonement cannot be made for the land on which the blood has been shed, except by the blood of the one who shed it. Do not defile the land where you live and where I dwell, for I, the Lord, dwell among the Israelites. The family heads of the clan of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, who were from the clans of the descendants of Joseph, came and spoke before Moses and the leaders, the heads of the Israelite families. They said, when the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land as an inheritance to the Israelites by lot, he ordered you to give the inheritance to our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. Now suppose they marry men from other Israelite tribes, and their inheritance will be taken from our ancestral inheritance and added to that of the tribe they marry into. And so part of the inheritance allotted to us will be taken away. When the year of Jubilee for the Israelites comes, the inheritance will be added to that of the tribe into which they marry, and their property will be taken from the tribal inheritance of our ancestors. Then at the Lord's command, Moses gave this order to the Israelites. What the tribe of the descendants of Joseph is saying is right. That is what the Lord commands for Zelophehad's daughters. They may marry anyone they please as long as they marry within their father's tribal clan. No inheritance in Israel is to pass from one tribe to another, for every Israelite shall keep the tribal inheritance of their ancestors. Every daughter who inherits land in any Israelite tribe must marry someone in her father's tribal clan, so that every Israelite will possess the inheritance of their ancestors. No inheritance may pass from one tribe to another, for each Israelite tribe is to keep the land it inherits. So Zelophehad's daughters did as the Lord commanded Moses. Zelophehad's daughters, Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, married their cousins on their father's side. They married within the clans of the descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in their father's tribe and clan. These are the commands and regulations the Lord gave through Moses to the Israelites on the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. All right, everyone, that completes the book of Numbers. Tomorrow we will be reading Deuteronomy 1 through 4, I believe. Yes, 1 through 4. So we're starting a new book. All right, I have 5 reflection questions for us today. 6. The first 3 are going to be for Numbers 33 and 34. And the second 3 are going to be for Numbers 35 and 36. All right, so number 1, what stands out to you the most about the detailed list of locations in Numbers 33? Number 2, how does the story of the Israelites' journey to the Promised Land relate to your own journey in life? Number 3, What lessons can we learn from the Israelites' experience, both positive and negative? Okay, Numbers 35 and 36 questions. Number 1. How do the cities of refuge demonstrate God's concern for both justice and mercy? Number 2. What was the purpose of the Levitical cities, and how did they contribute to the spiritual and practical needs of the Israelites? Number 3. How does the provision of land and inheritance demonstrate God's care and provision for his people? All right, guys, that concludes not only Numbers, but days 68 and 69 as well. All right, tomorrow we're going to be moving on to days 70 and 71, and we will be starting the book of Deuteronomy. So let's jump into our prayer. Dear God, I'm aware that I have many flaws. Please help me become a better person. Please remind me to treat everyone with the same respect and love that you've shown to all of us. Keep my heart humble. Lord, remind me that I am not better than others, but that we are all equally loved by you. Clear away the negativity and selfishness within me and remind me to practice what I preach. I want to be more like you, spreading light and positivity everywhere I go. I know that I may never be perfect, but I trust that with your guidance I can keep growing every day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.